4, 5, 6 now. Now it's 6.
Welcome back to the Zero Strategy Podcast.
Did you give the sign? Did you give the signal?
Here's the
Yeah,
thing.
did you give the signal?
I was
He was
doing
doing
the
the thumbs
signal. You weren't. Nobody was reacting, and then Grog did like a super yeah, I fucking see you, arsehole. So I assume Grog will communicate this with Humps.
No.
No, that's just silly.
I kind of thought so. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for being here. It's been a few weeks since we did the old pod. We've had, things. Everyone had a nice Christmas if they celebrate it. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2022. Twitch is on fire. Let's talk about it. I'm joined today by my co-hosts. We have Grog Mode.
Hello.
And we have Sir Humps,
Hello.
who's back in America and not here with me in Scotland anymore, unfortunately.
True. Or am I?
You think?
I left enough of my essence there.
Yeah, he keeps telling me he left cameras hidden around my house, so I'm a bit worried.
You laugh.
Grog.
They're my new channel redemption points.
it just shows an overlay of Condie's kitchen.
Taking it down.
Yeah, it's like a cat cam or a dog cam, except it's just me sleeping.
It's a Condie cam. What's he doing today? Let's check him on Condie.
Oh, he's on the couch. All right, let's check next stream. Oh, he's on the couch.
Doesn't do much. Doesn't really go out a lot.
Is he crying?
Grog, how have you been since the last podcast? What have you been up to?
Since 4 months ago, or
Yeah.
however, probably 2 months. I mean, I think it was at least 2 months.
It's been a while.
Doing okay. I think within the last time that we started the podcast, I had just started a thing on Thursdays where I'm doing a weekly tabletop role-playing session now, which has been going really good.
Me and my wife do something similar.
It's not that kind of role play. There might still be dice involved, but it's more of a
You know the game.
it's more of a theater of the mind. That actually doesn't narrow it down. We're playing basically D&D.
He's like, I'm actually not helping this.
So we're playing a system called Mothership, which I think a lot of people associate Dungeons and Dragons with just being that is role-playing games, but there's hundreds, if not thousands, of systems out there, and to fit our setting is kind of rooted in the Alien universe, like the Ridley Scott, Sigourney Weaver, Nuke 'Em from Orbit, that type of alien. And we're using a system called Mothership. So it's pretty simple, straightforward. I wanted to pick something where some of our players who had never role-played before would find it easy. Just a percentile check. So you have a certain percentage out of 100. It's just that direct. So you have a 35% chance of success for something, or 50% chance of success. It's not very complicated, but it has allowed us to really dive into the story in ways that are really cool. So we're doing that, and otherwise, we just keep finishing games on stream. We have our third sponsored stream coming up. I'm going to be playing Gunk on Monday, which is exciting. This is through Keymailer, and I did another one through Lurkit. Are both services where you can get sponsored to get a game code for a game and then play it. But I did Witchwood, which was really fun, and I played White Shadows, which was horrifying. It was like a mashup of Limbo and Little Nightmares and BioShock. It was scary as fuck, but it was good. It was good. And yeah, things have been going pretty okay with the channel.
Fantastic.
What about you, Humps?
Oh, I've been doing nothing. Condie?
It's not true.
Yeah, that's not true at all.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the biggest thing was my vacation that I came back from just before Christmas. Me and the wife, we took, my buddy was having a destination wedding.
His wife.
My wife. In Italy, in Florence, Italy, underneath the Tuscan sun. And we decided to make a trip out of it instead of just going there. We've always wanted to go to Europe side of things, and so we went to London for about 5 days, and then we went to Scotland for a few days and hung out with the Condie Fly IRL. You see that light in his screen? I was there. I was in front of it. I was looking at his camera in that room. We hugged. Um, I had to look up to him because of just how surprised I was at how tall he was. Just pissing Grog off so much inside right now. So we had which we stayed in Edinburgh, and me and my wife, we loved Scotland. Absolutely loved Scotland. It was such a fantastic time. I mean, Italy was dope. I mean, it was fun. But we just stayed at like the Castella in our villa. And
wait,
it's no Scotland.
Condie and Dale,
at least no Edinburgh.
didn't let you stay at their villa.
No,
Villa.
No, he wouldn't even let me stay
there.
He
was
like, you can hang out for like an hour.
He came around and we were like, okay, that's enough. Get out of my house.
All right, thanks for the YouTube content. See you later, I guess.
Pretty much.
I thought it was weird when Humps texted me that he woke up and all of his things had already been packed by Condie and Dale, and they were just out front. Like,
and I was like, wait, what? I'm not even at his
house.
Change
clothes.
He drove to where we're staying just to pack up my shit to get me out of Scotland. He's like, thanks for the COVID, asshole.
yeah, that's the whole thing. But we went to Edinburgh Dungeon.
Yep, that was a lot of fun.
Edinburgh Dungeon.
Not a sex thing.
Yeah, if you don't know, it's like a tourist attraction where you kind of go through these different bits of like the history of Edinburgh, and they spook you. The staff, like the actors, are very good at doing like, they kept doing this thing where they would be like walking in one direction, the lights would go out, and they would silently turn into another direction. So when the lights come back on, they're right in front of your face, which is really cool. My favorite part was we were in this. It was like a doctor scene or something, right, Humps? And he had a jar of leeches, and the lights went out, and there was a smashing sound, and he's like, "Oh, I've dropped the leeches!" And at that point, all the chairs began to like vibrate, and it was meant to feel like leeches.
It was weird.
It was meant to feel like leeches go past you, and a few people were shocked, and I just heard Humps get really excited and really enjoy the vibrating chair.
I was like, everyone's like, oh, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, that's right. The lights came back on. Humps goes like, oh, can we do that again? Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we met up with some of the other Scottish people and had a few drinks, and then I got COVID.
Drinks. Yeah, and then you got COVID. No one. Well, yeah, Dale got it from you, but no one else got it. It was just poor little Condie.
I was the only fucker that actually got it on the night out.
Mm-hmm. And he wore his mask way more.
I was super careful.
Leave it to the guy with asthma to get
we
COVID.
Obviously wore it when like we went into places and stuff, but like if I was like out, if we were just like walking on the street, I wouldn't necessarily have it on, especially if I was like, because normally I'm like vaping or something like that. But yeah, he'd always have it on, and he got it.
Typical.
We pretty stuck to ourselves too. Like even the bars like we went to, like they weren't super packed. We had our own little section on the table and stuff. And
I mean, Humps, whatever you need to tell yourself to alleviate your conscience, it's fine.
Well, I mean, Hawk, he did pay me to bring you the vid, so I got asked a lot of questions like, "What's this vial?" I'm like, don't worry about that. Definitely don't open that.
Why does it have like the umbrella logo on the side?
Yeah.
Humps made a lot of friends. Every single time we went outside the bar to have a vape, somebody new would come over and want to be Humps' pal.
Yeah, it was odd.
There was what was it that lady said to us? We were talking, and she goes to Humps like, "Why are you here?" And Humps was like, "Oh, to see this guy," and he points at me. And then she says, "Oh, are you that kind of way?" Right? And Humps just looked at me with confusion, and I said to the lady, "Oh, our wives are both inside of the bar." And Humps just goes, "Oh, that's what you meant."
I was wondering if that's what she meant by that.
It was adorable.
I was like, oh, in that case, yes, 100%. We are that kind of way.
It was good. It was funny. But yeah, we had a good time. I miss you.
What have you been up to on the channel, Condie?
Me? Oh, so much stuff. So much. Not that much, really. When Humps was here, we did a Scottish food tier list, which was a lot of fun. Where I made them like some haggis and then a bunch of other Scottish.
Dale
treats.
made the haggis.
Dale made the haggis, but like, we assembled a bunch of like classic Scottish snacks and foods, and Humps was here in this very room.
Right there, baby.
And
right
we did a little tier list, which was a lot of fun. Obviously, yeah, then we hung out, then I had COVID, and that all sucked. This past week, did my first ever stream on YouTube Gaming, which I want to talk about and get into. Other than that, it's been much the same. Apex, I started Red Dead Redemption 2 this morning, which has been very fun. I like that game.
How did that go? You hadn't played it before, right?
No, and also I'm a complete idiot, right? Because I own the game on PS4. So I was like, I'm not going to buy it on Steam again. I already own the game. I've just never played it. So I opened the box. There's 2 discs. There's a data disc and a gameplay disc. So it says, put the data disc in first. So it did it. It did a whole install. I left it for the night. It said, yep, we're done. Good. Cool. Sit down this morning, ready to play. And it's like, oh, you need to insert the other disc to play. Like, that makes sense. Put in the other disc. And it's like, oh, we have another 50 gigabyte install to do. Why? Why? What was the point in the first disc? So, yeah, that was annoying, unfortunately, but I did get to play it eventually. It's fun. I used to do the single player Sundays before the podcast every week, and I would do stuff like Last of Us or Ghost of Tsushima, and it was always a lot of fun, and I just kind of stopped.
My favorite was when you were still a postman and you were playing Death Stranding as a postman in the future.
Yeah. I also played that game Lake, where I was just a postman in modern day as well. That was, I gotta say, side note, Lake was a game which I thought looked super interesting, and I could not have been more wrong. Most boring game I've ever played in my life. It was like just being at work. There was nothing fun about it whatsoever. I managed to flip the van one time. You definitely are not supposed to be able to do that. It broke a whole lot of things, but like I tried my best.
Was this in the game, or like is this why you no longer work there?
Well, moving on. Anyway, yeah, Red Dead was fun, but yeah, I decided that my resolution for New Year was to focus on YouTube a bit more, and as part of that, I decided to do weekly streams on YouTube Gaming. So. I'll explain kind of what my thought process is first, and then talk about what the actual platform is like after, if you'll indulge me for a few minutes to chat about it. So, obviously, we've seen a lot of people move from Twitch over to YouTube recently. It's becoming a bit of a trend. We know YouTube's a big platform. It's not like Mixer. YouTube's not going anywhere. It's around to stay. And as an affiliate on Twitch, you are allowed to stream on other platforms as long as you're not multi-streaming to more than one platform at once. I mean, in theory, I could multi-stream to YouTube and Facebook as long as I'm not multi-streaming to Twitch at the same time. Anything that is streamed on Twitch is exclusive to Twitch for 24 hours, right?
Do we know if that's the case for? I mean, not YouTube. I think doesn't care, but does Facebook Gaming care? If you like,
I don't have a deal with
concurrently
Facebook.
Stream.
I'm not signed to any
true.
affiliate deal with Facebook, so I can do whatever I want.
That's true.
In theory, right? I maybe once you get to a partnership or an affiliate style deal, maybe that changes. But yeah, for the time being, I see a lot of people saying, well, you're an affiliate, you can't stream on YouTube. Like, that's not true. You can. You just have to do it on a different day, right? You can't have the same content going out. I mean, in theory, you could even do a stream on Twitch and then literally end that stream, go live on YouTube, and just do something else. And it's different content, right? So you're allowed to do it. Anyway, I have been posting videos on YouTube for a long time. I try and make that part of my sort of content cycle, is to post a video every day or other day. And sorry, I'm looking, Slothy's distracting me in chat. I don't know what she's talking about, but the YouTube is part of my sort of content plan, right? I'm always trying to get videos out on YouTube, but it's never been something I've super focused a lot of time onto. And I thought maybe just partly for my own curiosity, we do one stream a week on YouTube to see what it's like, to get a bit of a perspective on another platform and experience some things. But also at the same time, worst case scenario, if a few new people find the stream through YouTube and then subscribe to that channel, maybe those people will then see some of the videos that I'm putting out, and it will, best case scenario, maybe it will help boost the performance of some of those videos or make that channel do better. And luckily I'm in a position where I do this full time and I can afford to maybe take one day out of my week and stream it on YouTube. So that was my thought process going into it. I'm going to give it a couple of months of weekly streams on there to kind of evaluate whether it is worth the time or if I'm better to invest that time into something else. But I'm gonna just, we have to do the experiment and see how it looks. So that was kind of my reasoning for it. So on Thursday, this past week, I sat down and I set everything up to stream on YouTube. Super weird. It's a strange platform when you're used to Twitch. I should also say that my stream was extremely bare bones. So
because you don't use Stream Elements.
Well, I'm basing. What? Say what?
It also sounded
like he doesn't use Stream Elements.
I do use Stream Elements. What do you mean?
Did you connect your YouTube account to Stream Elements?
Yeah. How do you think I got the YouTube chat on the screen? I got YouTube.
Well, I mean, because like your overlays and all that stuff carry over.
Yeah. But what I mean when I say it was super bare bones is like I didn't have any chat bots because I didn't connect the bot to the YouTube channel.
You don't use Stream Elements.
Also mods. It was more of a difficult process.
Trying to find trying to add mods was tricky.
Physical moderators, not bots.
Yeah. Obviously, things like we have on Twitch, like sound alerts, channel points, none of that stuff's there. And even like one of the cool things I think about YouTube is that you can make a thumbnail for your live stream to put out there, which is one of the things I think is good about YouTube. I mean, it's a small feature, but it's potentially quite good. I didn't do any of that, right? It was very basic, kind of just really simple. A simple stream, nothing fancy. And obviously keep that in mind when I'm talking about how I got this all set up. So first of all, one of the cool things with YouTube I do like is you can schedule the stream. And what that does is anybody who's already subscribed to your channel will see it in their sub box and it will say this stream is going live at this time. And they can even click on it and like there's a countdown and you can wait in the chat room with the countdown for it going live, which was really cool. I saw, a handful of people hanging out and talking in the chat before the stream had even gone live, and it'll say X amount of people waiting. And, if you're far enough advanced in this stuff, you can have a trailer that will play while people are waiting for your stream to start, whatever. And it also kind of eliminates the starting soon screen thing of YouTube, so of Twitch, sorry, which is something I usually do on Twitch. I run a starting soon for a few minutes. I didn't do that on YouTube. I just went straight into content this time around. Because, again, people could see that it was scheduled and they were in the waiting room and they could see a timer for it to count down. The other thing that was cool is that when you hit start streaming on OBS, it doesn't immediately go live on YouTube. You have to go into your dashboard and hit a button to then make the stream go live.
Interesting.
You can change that so that as soon as it detects the OBS feed, it goes live automatically.
I think that's how Facebook is as well.
You can change it. I kind of liked having that extra layer of like, I'm live on OBS, but
going live.
Exactly. Yeah, I kind of like that.
Would never want to be editing a video for a YouTube thing and go live for 15 minutes while you're editing.
Imagine doing that. The act of adding a moderator was tricky. I had to Google it, and I had to
On stream?
Google. No. I did this like in a panic before I went live. Like 5 minutes before the stream started, I was like, I don't know how to do this. I had to like go into like some crazy place in my YouTube dashboard and then find a moderation thing. And then it wanted me to add the URL of the person's channel because I don't know how it works with like a username. So I went to my mod Discord chat and was like, I need somebody's URL. So one of my moderators, Nixie, gave me his channel URL, which I then put into the box, and it was like, YouTube wouldn't accept it. I don't understand, and I had to keep changing it and removing bits of the URL until eventually it was like, okay, it works. Great. What I did find is that while you're actually live, much easier. You can just click on a user in your chat and make them a mod. Way easier than having to go into your settings. Like while you're already live, you just click someone, similar like to Twitch. You can just click them, click a button, they're a mod now. Much easier. actual mod functions are way less than what Twitch has. Like,
Oh, really?
insane. You can time out. I don't know if there's like any sort of variation for science. I timed out one person. It was automatically 5 minutes. I've no idea how to undo it, so they just had to take the 5-minute punishment. And I don't know if there's a way to change the time. There's just a button you click and it times them out. You can hide people from the stream, which I guess just blocks them from typing in chat. I don't know if that's equivalent to like a ban, or you can report people.
I was gonna say what the hide likely does is they can probably still keep typing, but it just hides their comments from everybody else.
Probably like a sort of almost like a shadow ban, like Twitch does with, or Twitch says they do with secondary accounts.
Yeah, exactly.
But those were about it. That was the mod features that we had. What else? The chat is very strange compared to what we're all used to on Twitch. There's a noticeable delay with chat messages coming through. And when you go live, you have the option to do normal latency, low latency, or ultra low. So if you go ultra low, it won't allow you to stream in 1440 or 4K. But with low or normal, you can stream up to 4K, right? If you're in low or normal latency. Ultra caps you at 1080p. Fine, no problem. I'm on ultra low latency. We did multiple tests. It felt like about an 8-second delay from somebody typing to me seeing it in the chat.
Oh, wow.
Approximately. That, based on what people were telling me. And that was on ultra low latency. Now, I believe this is due to the way that, like, when somebody types something in Twitch chat, it just instantly appears, right? And they you know, it's like Twitch processes these messages just as and when they come through. It feels like YouTube sort of every few seconds just grabs any messages that haven't been sent and displays them on the screen. So it's almost like it's not constantly refreshing. It's almost like YouTube's side refreshes every 5 seconds or so, something like that.
I think the reason for that is because Twitch, like, you can connect to a chat for a channel that you're not watching. And the chat for Twitch essentially is like an old AOL Instant Messenger type thing where it is instantaneous. It's not actually at no point it's running side by side with your channel, but it's not actually in the stream. Whereas because a YouTube streaming, like when you were streaming live on YouTube, like when you're done, that becomes a YouTube video or could be a YouTube video, right? So like the idea is chat is actually embedded into the video itself, which is probably
it's more like the comments. It's like a comment section versus
it's part of the permanent record of the video. Whereas like if you went back and watched a VOD for Twitch, it does pull it up and synchronize it. But if you save like a highlight or you know, if you just like save the video and look at it elsewhere, that metadata isn't like saved inside of the video itself. So I think like YouTube is actually like bundling it into the stream, whereas like Twitch is just showing side by side, which is why I think they can do it instantly.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued about this 4K though. Your boy likes
boy
likes quality.
It's you can stream up to 4K over on YouTube. And I think the bit rates might be a bit more
yeah, I think you get like 10K or higher.
Yeah, it's if you're the sort of person that likes that, then I'm sure it's great. Again, I'm still very early onto it all. I was getting a lot of people saying that it looked like the actual video quality of my stream was not as crisp as what they're used to on Twitch. Now, my internet's not the best, right? I have like I think about a 4,500 bit rate, and I stream at 720p 60, right? Because for a bunch of reasons, I maybe could push 1080, but obviously with things like being an affiliate, you don't always get transcoding, and the higher quality you stream at, you run the risk of alienating some people, whatever. 720 60 is a good compromise for me.
You can't watch me in 1080p. I don't.
Regardless, I do 720 60, and it works for me for the time being. And I did all the exact same settings on YouTube. I literally didn't change anything in OBS other than the stream key of where it was going. And I was getting a lot of reports saying the quality's not as good. It's noticeably worse. And I did see
maybe because of the
saying,
ultra low latency, possibly.
Yeah. Well, I saw a lot of people saying compression was all different on YouTube, and
well, so you said you tried different settings for the ultra low latency, and all that stuff, and for the chat time response. So was it did it actually change? Like, did it
Well-
go from 8 seconds to like 15 seconds or something like that?
So I didn't test multiples. I did ultra low.
Okay.
And when I say I tested, I mean like people would type in chat the word test. As soon as I saw it, I would say it, and they would go, "Oh, it's about this much time." The other interesting thing is because I had linked up my stream elements to a YouTube automatically. So when I'm on full screen on Twitch, I have my Twitch chat on the screen, right, scrolling through. Automatically, it hooked up to my YouTube. So I was quite pleasantly surprised when I went live. The YouTube chat was on screen immediately. What was very odd is the YouTube chat on screen was noticeably ahead of the actual chat box that I had open. So I could see people typing on the screen, but it wouldn't appear in the chat box for several seconds
Oh wow.
after it come through. It's almost like Stream Elements wasn't showing the delay, but the YouTube chat, again, it feels like YouTube's just gathering up all the comments, and then every 5 seconds it spits out another batch of comments.
Huh.
It was weird. It was weird.
I mean, at least that's something to kind of like, it's a little workaround.
Well, what I want to do next
side of it.
week, or this coming week, is try it on low latency and see if there's a difference.
Yeah.
I would
Either
put it,
in
science.
put it on something.
or-
What was the default? What did it default to?
I believe it just defaulted to normal.
Yeah, just do normal then.
I mean, that's the in theory, you've got normal, low, or ultra low. So like normal, if ultra low is like an 8-second delay, I'm a bit concerned about normal
it's probably the
latency.
same. That's just your quality, right? We're not talking chat upload. That's probably
Well, no, it
completely...
is. I believe the latency is. Well, maybe I'm wrong. I immediately took latency as, you know how like Mixer was like this big thing of zero latency, instant chat interaction. That's what I took it from. I thought ultra low latency would be good because I'd be able to interact with chat quicker.
I think
I
it's
mean,
your video
that
quality. Because you can have like when you go into OBS and like because we all use CPU encoding, except do you use NVENC? Anybody use NVENC?
I don't.
I use NVENC.
You use NVENC. So NVENC, I think you have, because your quality settings are different than CPU. I think the NVENC settings, you actually have like a low latency setting on NVENC versus CPU. CPU, they just call it differently or something
There
like
is an option within the Twitch dashboard to set low latency, and that is supposed to be tied to quality, I think.
Yeah,
Or,
that's what
sorry,
I'm saying.
not-
I think it's a quality thing. So I would just leave it on normal, just see how it works, and then you can always change it. Doesn't fucking
Well,
matter.
the thing is that this whole YouTube stream thing is all experimental right now. So, by all means, I'm willing to try it. I'll go to normal
Oh, are you?
latency this
Are you-
week and
are you
see
willing
what
to
it.
try
see
it?
what
Well,
it
if you're
looks like.
gonna do it every week, truly, like if you want to see it as an experiment, I think maybe do the low, because I
And
mean
then
you've already
normal the
gone
next
one end of the exactly. You've gone one end of the spectrum. Just slowly do it incrementally.
No, this
And
is called,
eventually I
this
wanna
is
see it
this
in
is this
4K.
is this is standard troubleshooting. It's called half splitting. Okay, so you start it on one end, you go to the other end, and then you meet. You trust me. I knew stuff at one point in my life. All right.
Either way, I'm gonna try another option, whether that's normal or low. Regardless, I'm gonna try another one and see what it's like. One of the other concerns I was having about streaming on YouTube is that I didn't want the 4 or 5 hour VOD sitting up on my YouTube channel next
not?
to. Well, because I like to think of YouTube as like this sort of portfolio almost of my work, right? And you can think that's stupid or not, but like I like to think if somebody catches a stream or sees a clip on TikTok or whatever and they come to YouTube, I want them to see a portfolio of like curated content that I've edited and put time into and they can find. What I don't really want them to see is a 4 hour VOD of a stream where I'm just sitting there playing a game, right?
That
like,
so I follow a couple people who stream on YouTube, and I follow them on YouTube specifically because of like guides and reviews and things that they make. And I've noticed that, and I always just skip those.
yeah,
Like Jack Frags. Jack Frags is someone who he's a UK streamer. He's immensely known for being involved in Battlefield, but also Call of Duty, and that's kind of his bag. Like is like first person shooters, but more specifically like the like sim type shooters, right? And his content's great, But like honestly, sometimes I go onto his channel and it's like, oh, he published a new video today. Cool. What's it about? Oh, it's 3 hours. Oh, he was just playing such and such.
It's just
But
a
like
stream.
sometimes the title makes it seem like it's not just like, hey, I'm live, I'm going to be gaming, but it's like the title seems like it's about a topic, like covering the new Battlefield update, and I'm like, but I'm not going to watch 3 hours of that. Like, so I don't. And what those are basically just as Connie described. It's a byproduct of he went live for 3 hours. It became a video after the fact. The thumbnail he set up at the beginning when he went live for the stream is what's there at the end. And so it just like wraps it up like one parcel and you get a video. And that's nice. But then, you also wind up with like a video on your timeline where it's like 5-minute guide, 3-minute guide, 3-hour something.
Stream VOD, yeah.
Yeah.
The worry I had originally when I started posting shorts on there as well was that I didn't want somebody to go to the channel and just see a bunch of 30-second clips, because obviously it's much easier to just pump out short clips every day.
Those automatically don't show up under your videos.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's what I like about it, right? Because that was something I was concerned about, because I didn't want somebody going to that channel and having to scroll to find an actual video that's had time put into it. But again, they categorize them sort of differently so they don't appear immediately, so that, again, you're going to see the most recent actual video. So there is a setting to kind of come back to all this. There's a setting you can do on YouTube which will automatically unlist those VODs when you're done with them. And I believe I'm not an expert on this, but I believe there's a way to automatically direct those VODs into like a playlist, where then people can go to the playlist and watch the VODs if they're interested, but it doesn't show up in the sub box or the feed of videos, which is quite a nice option. It's a good way of being able to get that VOD without spamming your actual channel with it. So it's a lot of fun. Again, I obviously I will continue to update on YouTube as we go. Discoverability, I can't say I mean, again, it was a short stream.
Did you feel like you got much in the way of interaction outside of people that already knew you from Twitch, who you had already advertised to, that simply came over to support you, right? Like what was the organic new user experience?
Zero, I think. Okay. I didn't see anybody.
I mean, it was a first stream too. I mean,
that's it. Yeah, it was my very first stream. I'm not by any means saying like it went badly or whatever. It was fun. I had a good time. A lot of people came over from Twitch, which was super nice to see. I actually had some people that hadn't watched my Twitch in a long time that were like, hey, you're on YouTube now. Oh, I can watch again. Like, for whatever reason, I don't watch Twitch anymore, but I can watch on YouTube. Like, so that was kind of nice. Yeah, it's. I didn't see anybody. There was a brand new chatter. But like, again, like I could see that sort of. Again, the terminology is confusing because like a sub on YouTube is like a follow on Twitch. The sub number did go up a little bit, but I don't know if that was like a new person that just didn't type in chat, or if that was somebody that maybe came over from Twitch that wasn't previously subbed.
There was only way you can look that data up.
Well, I haven't. but like again, things like that, I need like a bot that can announce like, oh, thank you for following, like we have on Twitch. I need to get that set up for YouTube. My current plan is every week I'll do one thing to kind of improve that YouTube stream, because I also, Twitch is my job. Twitch is where I'm spending most of my time. That's my priority. And I'm not going to invest too much time and energy into YouTube, but I can do a little bit here and there. So the goal is to do one thing per week to improve that stream. And then eventually over time, hopefully we'll get some sort of parity with a Twitch stream. So like, whether that's I'm going to add a chat bot, or I'm going to add some new overlays or some new connection, or I'm going to do a thumbnail, like whatever, right? We'll do one improvement each week and we'll see how we go. But it's an experiment.
We have one less article of clothing each week.
I could do that if that's something that you're interested in.
Sure.
Oh, weirdly, speaking of things people are interested in, polls, super easy to do on YouTube, right? We just a complete random thing, but like obviously in Twitch we have the ability to run a poll in chat. Mods can start a poll and it all displays it in the chat box, and it's very nice. When we were on YouTube, something came up. There was a discussion about it, and it somebody was like, oh yeah, like there's literally a button in the chat. There's literally like emotes, polls. those are the two buttons that are there on their YouTube chat. So you can just run a poll. I thought it was strange that was one feature out of like their two features. One of them is polls, and you can just run a poll in your chat if you ever want to.
Are you saying that this was user
Yeah,
initiated?
can anyone initiate the poll, or is it you?
I think it's just me.
Odd.
I don't know if mods could do it.
I mean, it's pretty easy.
I have no idea if
It's
mods
pretty
have
easy to
ability.
do in the Twitch dashboard because, like, there's quick actions. I can click a quick action, and immediately it pulls up the interface. I just, type.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting it's better or worse than Twitch's. I just thought it was funny that YouTube has so little features compared, but polls was one that was right there, front and center. Like, I just thought it was interesting that was an option that was available there. It's definitely, people talk about the UI needs improving. It feels very alien when you're used to Twitch. It's a bizarre experience because it is just so different and stripped back. And I by sheer coincidence, I wore a Twitch hoodie. I called them Twitch chat many times. Grog even called me out at one point. It was like, "You're not on Twitch. Who are you talking to?" Like, it's very confusing and weird. But it was a bit of fun. I feel like I had another final point to make on it. But
one thing that I two things I can appreciate as a viewer of that stream was, one, I get spotty Wi-Fi in the bedroom at the front of the house, and when I woke up, I tuned in because I knew that you were going live, or it had been live already by the time I woke up. And I will say that I think you maybe get better transcoding, more reliable transcoding, because your stream looked great on my phone. And I always have buffering issues, or like I have to wait until it kind of like synchronizes up when I watch anything else, and not like specifically your streams, anything in that room, because the Wi-Fi is just like kind of crap. And I will say the transcoding seemed to be working great because the stream came through quick. It was pleasant on my end. The one thing I don't like about YouTube in general about live videos as a viewer is I don't like how on the mobile experience it sucks, because it puts chat over it goes full screen with the image. So side to side, your whole phone is the stream, and then chat is like flooding just over it. And then that gets even more confusing if like chat is then embedded in an overlay box on stream.
Yeah.
And then like there is a way that you can get chat to move, but it doesn't have an option to break it into like a diptych, where it's like on the left side is like the stream and on the right side is like a chat box, like Twitch is. It's like you either hide chat or you look at chat. And when you look at chat, it's just like a diptych or triptych. Triptych is three side by side.
Stop saying
diptych
dick.
Is two side by side. Dip, DIP. Control yourself, host.
I can't.
Diptych. Anyway,
go on.
It's weird. I feel like I have less control as a viewer in terms of how I experience a stream. So that was a bit of a but that's like has nothing to do with Condie's thing. I will say though that I think that it was easier to watch the stream on a lower quality connection. But I also can't attest for like compression or artifacting, because again, I wasn't watching on a desktop. But on a phone, it looked great. It looked awesome.
Well, like I say, it's interesting, and at the end of the day, if I do it for a couple months and I decide it's not worth it, then there's nothing lost. It's a bit of an experience. But yeah, super weird not being on Twitch. Really, really bizarre experience to be somewhere else after years of this. Speaking about Twitch, everything is kind of falling apart.
I love it. Let it burn.
This could be bad for us. This could be very bad for everyone. I've spoke a lot. Grog, do you want to kind of explain what's happening and just give us a bit of an overview of what's happening right now?
Yeah, so in brief, Pokimane is one of the more prominent users on Twitch. She is someone who Twitch she is a partner with the platform, and she in a lot of ways has been not the only, but one of the many public faces for Twitch. She appeared on ads that showed up in Times Square when Twitch has done ads there. So she is an important figure. Within the last 48 hours, 24 hours, I think it was 48, she got her first ban. And the ban was for watching Last Airbender on stream. She was watching the anime, or the animated series, and she got a 48-hour temporary ban. We know it's not permanent. And she was like, well, I'll see you guys in 48 hours. We'll be back to make up with the 12-hour stream. And people were thinking, like, what did you think was going to happen? That was some of the reactions. Other people were writing stuff like free Pokimane.
Oh my God.
And it was stirring up a lot of discussion within the community, because it was kind of like, well, obviously she got banned. This wasn't music related. This was video content. And as we've talked about before on the podcast, there's not been a great way to screen channels live in real time for video content. It is possible, but it's not as probable as, say, music, because it's not as just not as easily deduced. And there's been this running joke with us in our podcast chat about all of the people in the just chatting section who are watching things like, MasterChef, or they're watching, like
Hell's Kitchen,
whatever it may be. There's been a meta of huge creators, huge like multi-million-dollar creators, as well as, people who are just affiliates, watching live TV with their chat. Or sorry, not live TV, but often YouTube or Netflix or Hulu or that sort of thing. But they're watching content that is from a television program, and they're still making subs and bits and all that stuff, and nothing has really happened. So one of the things is that Carnage, who is another very large streamer, he's someone who was actually, like, he was in Cyberpunk 2077 as a character. Like, he does voice acting. He's no small individual.
Yeah, he's a well-known figure.
Yeah, he responded to this and was just kind of like, well, like, what the what the fuck? This is very people, we've been waiting for this to happen. Who did they think they were kidding?
Yeah.
I'm trying to look for his tweet right now. Yeah, here it is. So he wrote, right after one major streamer gets DMCA'd, another starts testing the waters with other dangerous content. And then he specifically references Disguised Toast, another huge streamer, someone who's so big, they actually canceled the option for people to give them subs because they were making so much money on their channel. They made a statement saying that they would rather people sub to other channels because they have more than enough money. This person is going to stream Death Note.
Nice.
And actually did. Death Note is an anime series. So Carnage says, after one major streamer gets DMCA'd, others are testing the waters, in this case Disguised Toast, streaming anime. Pokimane plays off the 2-day ban and promotes her return to stream with a smile. They're speed running, getting the site into incredibly hot water. His second and third tweets I thought were salient. He says, I can't imagine any license holder doesn't take a look at what's going on and realizes how there are fundamental issues with both the creators and the platform allowing it to happen. I hope Twitch is locked down legally, because it's not a good look at all. This general argument is that Twitch will pass any lawsuits onto the creators, that they're legally protected as they don't control the content. That would be the clause that protects Twitch, would be to say that, like, it's the streamer that's going to get hit with the infraction. Just like XQC got in trouble with the IOC, the International Olympics Committee, for watching the Olympics on stream. It was the IOC who directly went into a lawsuit with XQC, this other huge streamer. So Twitch can simply pass the buck. I mean, well, they're not actually passing the buck. The infraction's happening because of the user. So the user is the one who's getting punished. But the thing is that for Twitch to maintain safe harbor, as we've talked about before, they need to demonstrate that they're taking some sort of action. And in this case, it's a ban, but it's not a ban because it's not permanent.
Would it be a ban if it was you?
No, because it's supposed to be 3 strikes and you're out.
Yeah, it would most likely be temporary for a small creator.
Yeah, but usually, like, I know on music, I mean, because I'm interested to see how many strikes she has, because if she watched more than one episode.
Well, that's
she watched more than one episode, but she only got hit with 1 claim, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. That's the thing, though, is we always say, you know, well, it's this 3 strike system, and I think that's what Twitch is obligated to do, right? Is Twitch is, as part of their safe harbor, is obligated to, if they receive a DMCA, ban the content that's doing it, and if they get 3 on the one channel, then they're permanently terminated. Now, we've heard rumors that people, big top dog streamers, have had more than 3 claims.
Oh, not even rumors, facts.
Well, there you go.
Because there's a Twitch bot, I think it's called Streamer Bans or something to that effect, but you can look it up. What it does is it scrapes the Twitch backend, and anytime a ban happens, it's published. Doesn't matter how big or small you are, it literally publishes anyone that is banned from the platform. Anyone that was anyone that has actively producing the stream, so not like just some random shitpost troll, you know, who's like, you know, just being a dick as a user in chat, but like someone who's producing content. It posts that information, and it'll also keep track of it's also public knowledge how often someone has been banned. Amaranth has been banned at least 5, maybe 6 times. She got banned 3 times in the span of like 4 months or something in 2021. So we know for a fact that the 3 and you're out doesn't apply if you are within a certain standing in your relationship with Twitch.
I thought it was just 3 DMCAs and you're out. Obviously, if Twitch is making a judgment call, we don't like the content you've done, or you've maybe shown too much on stream or something, and we're banning you because you've maybe. So I don't know if this is right. This is just the way I'm thinking about it. If you violated Twitch TOS, that's obviously up to them. They can ban you. But obviously, if you're making a lot of money for Twitch, they're not going to permanently ban you if they can help it. I assume if it's 3 DMCAs, that's where Twitch doesn't have a choice, and it would have to, in theory, be permanent.
You'd think.
Like, in theory, you could get 2 DMCA bans and 2 bans for showing nudity, right, or whatever, right? I don't know. And in theory, that could still happen because it's 2 bans, 2 separate reasons. I don't fucking know. I'm really not too sure. But to kind of run down, I don't know how, you know, how many people watch like a lot of the big streamers. I've been a Twitch viewer for so long. I watch a lot of these big content creators all the time, and I've kind of seen this coming. I've kind of seen the way this is all worked through. MasterChef and Gordon Ramsay clips are some of the most viewed content on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Right? Clips from that show get insane viewership on YouTube. They have for a while, and the people that run that know, and they make these official channels and they post these clips of MasterChef and things like that. And I think streamers started initially reacting to some of these clips because they were doing so well on YouTube, and it kind of, they were like, oh well, I'll just watch this. And then people realized, oh, on YouTube you can literally watch full episodes of MasterChef. And people think, well, it's on YouTube, so I can watch it, it's fine.
Yeah.
And you know, before you know it, people are watching entire seasons of MasterChef with their chat. And then of course it started to build up. It started to snowball, right? You've got XQC watching Hunter x Hunter. Pokimane was watching Avatar. Toast watched Death Note. A large streamer, just straight up watched Lord of the Rings on his stream with his channel. Just Lord of the Rings. It's mind-blowing. It's the weirdest shit. I can't believe I was sitting in a chat with like 40,000 viewers watching a fucking movie. It's so crazy.
One of the things that happened since the time this podcast took a break in December was in December, there was a small incident's not the word for it, but there was a small kind of blip on the Twitch radar where Gordon Ramsay on his show, someone prepares food for him, and he's like, "This is the second time you've ever cooked this meal?" And they're like, "Yes, chef." And he's like, "Seriously, this is the second time you've ever prepared this?" You know, because I guess he enjoyed it or whatever, and he was surprised. And they said, yes, chef. And he's like, what do you do? She's like, I stream on Twitch. And he's like, what the fuck is Twitch? Now he's asking this on a TV show. He's asking this. This is in an episode. And she says it's a live streaming service. And he's like, okay. The next day, Gordon Ramsay tweets out like, what the heck is Twitch? And how do I figure out what it is? Because he wanted to know more about it. I think genuinely because his curiosity was piqued.
Yeah.
Twitch and the social media managers for Twitch on their Twitter account leapt at the opportunity. Hey, giant famous celebrity person is like adding us directly. Let's engage. So they engage him and say, oh, well, if you ever want to come on the platform, we'd be happy to show you, the ropes. And meanwhile, people like us, like who are involved in the streaming community, see this interaction happening. And I'm like, oh dear God. When he finds out what Twitch is and what has been happening, shit is going to get real.
I mean,
like,
XQC
and I'm watching.
Replied to his tweet. He led him right there.
and what kills me is Twitch's social media managers were just doing their job. Their job was like, I bet you anything, the people monitoring the Twitch account and running the account, they have no idea how many people in just chatting are streaming Hell's Kitchen. They have no idea how many people are infracting on copyright, infringement on the platform. They just see Gordon Ramsay's interested in us. Let's at him. Let's start a dialogue. What that started was a dialogue that never ended with Gordon Ramsay getting on Twitch and doing a program. It ended with Gordon Ramsay figuring out what the fuck Twitch is, because right after, I'm going to share an anecdote. I'll keep it brief and I'll keep it anonymous. But right after Pokimane got banned, I'm watching a stream yesterday. This is someone who had like 2,000 plus viewers in their channel. They're sponsored by Intel, Monster. They're with a huge esports organization. For the last couple months, you
just say it was me, Grog. Yeah.
They took a page. This person took a page, and it's funny. Like they saw sort of the React Andes of the world, like XQC and Disguised Toast, watching stuff. And they, a couple months ago, had started watching MasterChef with their chat. And they went through seasons of it on stream. They would do their regular session where they would sit down and play a game. And then they would just order dinner. And then for 2 hours, they would just sit there and they would just watch MasterChef. And while he was live, he was running this saving the VOD so that he could post a YouTube video later. Another famous huge partner streamer comes in the chat and says, like Paul Revere, the British are coming. He says, delete all your VODs now. Hassan, who is another huge streamer, got DMCA'd for MasterChef. And Hassan is another huge individual, and he got hit with a ban, which I believe is also temp. It also remains to be seen whether or not Viacom for Pokimane, or I don't know, Fox, I guess, for MasterChef, if they'll actually leverage fines or lawsuits against these people. But from Twitch's perspective, they gave him temp bans. This person comes in and says, delete all your shit. I then watch, as well as the rest of these 2,000 viewers, as the person is like, oh, fuck, when did we start watching MasterChef? Ah, shit. Ah, fuck. And then he's like, hang on a second. The tutorial I was doing has to wait. And then he was full screen on his computer screen of his webcam. He minimized so that it was showing his desktop, showing his web browser, and he's picture in picture in the corner. And I watched as the next 10, 15 minutes of him just delete MasterChef videos live. He's deleting clips, he's deleting all of his VODs. There's just hundreds upon hundreds, if not 1,000 or more clips that he's deleting. And he's like, we didn't watch MasterChef, right? We didn't watch MasterChef. And literally it says MasterChef season 3, come hang out. And he's deleting all these clips. And I'm watching this happen. And he gets down to the point where he's deleted everything except for his current stream. Because when you are streaming live and you delete all your videos, you delete all your clips, if he were to end that stream right then and there, guess what? He still has a VOD. The VOD that's live now. If you go to anyone's channel twitch.tv/sirhump/videos, grog/videos, you can see the current stream as a VOD and scrub back. So I said in chat, hey, you should probably stop this stream, delete it, and then restart your stream. And he said, no, it's fine. I didn't watch any MasterChef videos on this stream. And I'm like, but you could go back and scrub and see you literally are leaving the evidence of you deleting all the data. Like, this is like the Germans burning like paperwork as the Russians are like driving into Berlin. Like it's very obvious what's happening here. Like, don't you know?
Yeah, it's like I'm hiding the evidence, but my friend's filming it on their phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's as though like you had a YouTube channel of you like, hey, these are all the muggings I committed last month, and then it's like the one video you leave behind is the video of you deleting all the videos of you mugging people. Like, bro, do you not understand how this functions? And these people don't, and it blows my mind. Again, multiple contracts, huge contracts with various large corporations, pulling in like 6,000 subs a month, doesn't fucking get it, and will probably be fine. And will probably be fine, and nothing will happen to them. And here's the thing. Don't.
And I don't want this to come off as like, small streamer bitter at big streamer, right? Like I'm not trying to come out that way at all. But that being said, people like Pokimane, who I like, by the way, I think she's a good creator. She will benefit from this. She'll have a 2-day off.
Oh yeah.
She's got 2 days off. She gets to chill, relax, have a good
time.
time.
And then a shit ton of ignorant people that don't understand it, that are tweeting out free Pokimane, who don't actually understand DMCA. They're just like,
oh yeah, stream is going to be huge, because time and time again, we see big streamer gets banned, comeback streamers double their normal viewership or whatever. Mm-hmm. This is just publicity, right? And with the greatest will in the world, any of these big guys will have the same thing. Right? They take a week off, they take a few days off, whatever, they come back, they're fine. If anything, their viewership increases, right? The obvious downside is that by doing shit like this, it potentially forces much tougher restrictions on everybody else on the fucking platform. Because if the music industry's already got a fucking eye on Twitch, the last thing we need is the movie and TV industry also breathing down our necks, and then before you know it, you get this content ID system that YouTube has coming over, right? And all of a sudden it becomes so restrictive for everybody. And while those big streamers maybe get a little ban and a couple of days off, potentially a lot of other streamers are going to suffer a lot worse.
I think someone who summed it up well is Admiral Baru, is another huge streamer, millionaire streamer. And their tweet yesterday was, I'm really tired of the Twitch meta. Purposely break the rules while acting dumb in the process so that you can take a 2-day vacation and then be welcomed back with 3 times the viewership plus exposure. All the while, everyone else now has to deal with stricter rules for your dumbassery. I mean, it's exactly what Condie said. Like it. And here's for anyone in chat. We had 2 people ask, "What's a crash course in DMCA?" The simplest thing is, in 1998, there was a Digital Copyright Millennium Act. Digital Millennium Copyright Act, and basically it made it so it's a set of U.S. guidelines for the United States of America, but because Twitch is a U.S.-based company, all users of the platform are subject to it. Just like if there was, say, a British law, and if Twitch was a British company, we would all be subject to it, even if I am an American user streaming onto their platform. So because there is an American law on the books for the last 22 plus years, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act basically is a very strict set of copyright rules wherein individuals who file a claim that their material, their personal material, has been used illegally or erroneously, can basically levy lawsuits against individuals who have broken that copyright. So if I were to knowingly watch MasterChef on stream, knowing that it is copyright to Fox Studios, or watch Last Airbender and it's copywritten to Viacom New Media, that Viacom New Media is within their rights to come after me as a citizen and sue me. Now, does that often happen? No. And the reason why it doesn't often happen is because YouTube has taken a different tact, but like before YouTube had its revision, like Twitch, it had safe harbor rules for in order to protect the platform. Basically, the platform has to demonstrate that they're willing to penalize and punish the individual who caused the infraction, and have to set up ways to react to it. So what Twitch did for music was they have their own bot that if it detects copywritten audio in a stream, it will mute that section of your VOD. It can't stop it while it's live because the technology for that isn't there yet. But it will basically make sure that you are censored and you are muted for any infractionary period that occurred on your stream. YouTube does something different where it basically, you are demonetized. So if Condie uses a song that he does not have the rights, he uses a Led Zeppelin song or whatever in his video, and
Nirvana,
that will automatically get picked up if the bot, usually the bot for YouTube, has been told to search for certain content and then has already linked that like search with the copyright holder. Basically, Led Zeppelin or Columbia Records or whoever the fuck owns the music would come in and they would automatically file a claim instantaneously on his video. He could not monetize it. He would receive no money from it. And if there were any monies to be received from pre-roll ads or mid-roll ads, that money would go automatically to the copyright holder, not the person who infracted upon it. So it would basically skip Condie, go straight to Columbia Records or whoever the fuck it is. So that's basically DMCA in a nutshell. It's all about lawsuits, and it's all about controlling the flow of information and it's very rigid. It also doesn't reflect our modern age, because again, think of where the internet was in 1998. We were on dial-up modems.
Napster.
Yeah, this is, and there are people who are of a new generation that they don't. Last night, when I was talking to Lauren about this, Humps, she said, are some of these folks who are streaming and getting in trouble, are they not old enough to remember Napster or LimeWire? And I was like, honestly, some of them aren't. Like, some of them legit like miss Napster. They don't remember how huge some of this stuff was. And this is like now their modern reckoning. DMCA in a nutshell is just not been updated for the modern era. And largely what separates the infractions that Pokimane and Disguised Toast and XQC and all these other people who are just brazenly like showing, like TVs and movies, what separates that from video games is the DMCA is not automatic. A copyright claim does not just happen unless in the case of YouTube, because again, it's an automated system, but because there's not going to be a lawsuit because the person is already demonetized and the money is rerouted. Mm-hmm. A claim doesn't have to occur. It can occur. If I were to stream Lord of the Rings, well, like I could be contacted by the Hollywood studio that produced it and get struck, and they hit me with a lawsuit, and I could be taken off the air because Twitch is obligated to honor the law, because again, they're a U.S. company and it's a U.S. law. Video game industries, why is it different? It's different because the video game industries choose not to file claims. They choose not to because they recognize that the exposure for the game, because it's being streamed, is greater than the harm of an individual streaming it. Streams drive sales, streams drive interaction, streams drive promotions, and right now there has been a whole industry built up around integrating streams with the video game developers and the publishers. For example, I'm going to play a game on Monday, and I got the game for free through a service called Keymailer, which looks at my metrics for my stream. And basically, I can put myself out there and say, hey, I'd like to play this stream, or I'd like to play this game. I'd like to stream it. I have to guarantee that I will provide coverage. I have to guarantee it's going to be in a YouTube video. I have to guarantee it's going to be in a stream. And if I meet those conditions, they will evaluate based on my channel metrics whether they want to endorse giving me a free copy of the game so that I can play it. That is, and in this case for Gunk, I had to get it through the Microsoft Store. So like literally, if you zoom out, Microsoft gave me a game for free on the contingency that I play it, and this was brokered by the publisher. So like this is how deeply enmeshed video games are with Twitch and just live streaming in general, because they're choosing to have that relationship. Obviously,
that's a big point. I think a lot of people, they have, because you're talking about they choose when. I mean, it really comes to, because that's where I think a lot of the younger, just people who are uninformed about DMCA, or they're younger, not familiar with it and all that stuff, they see it not consistent everywhere. So it's like, oh, well, TikTok, geez, this guy, they just use these music clips for, their trends, and no one gives a shit. TikTok's different. They're choosing not to do it on TikTok because of the results they get from TikTok. The power of TikTok. On Twitch, somebody just having music in the background, that's not promoting anything. So they're just like, well, you're not actually promoting, you're just listening to the music, and everybody is just listening to it for free. Go fuck yourself. So they choose. That's the confusing part, is because they don't have to. It's not an automated system. I mean, other than the YouTube or Twitch maybe having something automated to protect themselves. The actual DMCA, like Grog was saying, it's not an automated thing. It has to be looked at and found, and then they'll be like, I don't want that there. So then they choose to act on it. Just like any law. Like if somebody hits your car, you choose if you want to file a report. You choose to, do you want to sue them? Do you want to?
A good way to look at it is this.
Slash the tires.
Think about in most modern urban areas, there are laws against jaywalking, where if you don't cross at a crosswalk, you could get a ticket. At worst, you get a ticket. You get a fine, maybe you get a warning. I can't tell you how many times I fucking jaywalked in front of a cop car in Philly. They don't give a fuck because it doesn't. Do you know what I mean? Like they're choosing what to enforce and what not to enforce. Now, is the law the law? Yes. Does that mean that people can jaywalk across the street daily? 100%. Does that mean that people think about any city in the world where you see somebody double parking? They put their hazard lights on. They park in a lane where there's no stopping, no stopping allowed. And they do it for, 10 minutes, maybe a half hour, like whoever fucking knows. It's one of those things where someone is knowingly jaywalking is when you cross the street, not at a crosswalk. Well, how do people not understand that?
It's not a thing in the UK, or I think most of Europe. When Hubs came over here, he was jaywalking left and right like crazy.
Well, because everyone does it.
Think about it less in terms of that analogy, but more in terms of stopping your car in a pass-through lane, in a lane where traffic is supposed to be moving. You've parked your car where you're not supposed to park a car. And in some areas, you're gonna get, if you're in let's say you're in an academic or an urban area where there's like I live in West Philadelphia where there's a university.
Born and raised.
There's so many more traffic cops and so many more people willing to issue you a fine because it's a more affluent area over near the college campuses. But if you're out in the middle of fucking nowhere, nobody cares where you park your car. You know what I mean? Like nobody's gonna be able to stop you. So it's one of those things where the muddiness with DMCA is largely in part because it is not readily understood by most people. It also is not readily enforced in all cases. And some industries willingly ignore it. Video game industry willingly pretends that DMCA is not there, or they just choose not to act on it.
Yeah,
whereas
they could. They just don't.
They could.
Nintendo tried to.
Wouldn't that be some shit, right? Like,
dude,
you have Apex being like, let's fuck a bunch of people.
There's been a few examples over the years of people that have tried to enforce it, and the thing is, it's so baked in to the industry now that developers couldn't do it without looking like massive cunts,
massive
right?
assholes.
You know, Nintendo tried to do a thing where a few years ago Nintendo said, we're not going to claim you, but we want 50% of anything you make using our content. And people said, I'm going to stop playing Nintendo games then. And Nintendo walked that back real fucking quick, right? The developer of, do you know the game Firewatch? Anyone familiar with the game Firewatch? So the main guy that did Firewatch, after PewDiePie had his whole incident where he got cancelled and everything happened, right? That guy went to Twitter and said, I don't like PewDiePie, and I'm going to DMCA all of his videos where he played Firewatch. Now, think what you want to think about PewDiePie. That is abusing the system, because these were videos that had been up there for a long time, and this guy was deciding, I own Firewatch, and I'm now going to use the legal power of DMCA to strike those videos because he said something while playing PUBG that has, upset people. And this guy got major fucking backlash for that because it's just an abuse of the system. Legally, he's allowed to do it. He has the legal power to do it. But it's a dick move to do, right? So yeah, we're in this finite spot where a lot of us only do what we do because we're allowed to do so by the games industry. But as Grog mentioned, it's a symbiotic relationship where, particularly for a lot of those big streamers,
because they get it,
they promote the game.
It promotes the game. It gets eyes on the game, especially when you have these huge streamers. Like, I'm going to stream this brand new game, and the game sells. They understand it. Music people, I feel like, they're like half in, half out on whether or not they want, because like they see TikTok, like, oh, that's beneficial. Well, you realize that's going to be beneficial on all aspects. If people are listening and hearing your stuff, they're going to want to go and then play it on Spotify, buy the album. Like that's kind of how it works.
Yeah.
And I've mentioned Corpse Husband before. Like, he has all his stuff, and he's like, dude, I'm 100% proof that you don't need this big corporate bullshit. DMCA is absolutely stupid. He's like, the more people that listen to my stuff, the better. He's like, I get so much from just people sharing and listening, and they just don't, whether they understand it, get it, it's a money grab, whatever you want to call it. I mean, that's,
and what complicates things is, I think it depends on the platform, because with something like TikTok, it always says you've got the little spinning record at the bottom showing who it's playing and what it's from, and it's always linking back to that. The problem is, you go to most Twitch streams, some people have a plugin that they've integrated with their Spotify or some other service.
We're not saying that's okay. Don't just play Spotify and show.
We're not endorsing that.
That's not an okay thing.
Is, some people have a little widget on their screen that's always showing what they're playing.
Yeah.
Now, if that was universal, if that was unavoidable, and every single person always had to show and credit who they were playing for any given music on the stream, then maybe the music industry would look at Twitch different. I think that's why TikTok, they've embraced it with live streaming. You get auto muted, and it is more heavily enforced. It's just, at the end of the day, DMCA is a law that was written before we have the internet as we know it today. This is Web 0. Like, we are in like Web 3.0 right now in terms of generations of the internet. This was before the internet was really the internet. It was, we're talking like basic web forums. We're talking BB edit posts. We're talking like, listservs for, like Yahoo groups,
AOL
like
chat,
Netscape Navigator. Like, this is some basic ass
People.
shit for the internet. And they could not have imagined a world that we occupy now as it exists, not only for things like YouTube, because YouTube wasn't there. Like, YouTube didn't exist when the Digital Millennium Copyright Act was written, and now we have so many more services, and because those services also then integrate, think about the ways in which that, like, there are, because of the use of API, applications can plug into other applications. Think about when you go and use a website and it's like, do you want to sign in with your Facebook? You're a new user, but you can sign in with your Facebook. Like, think about how all these things are integrated and interconnected. That could not have been conceived in the sort of world that we had at the end of the 1990s, where everything was,
Al Gore invented the
very
internet.
segmented, and there were clear fences and boxes around everything. Now there's so much overflow in terms of how these things and services interact with one another, that we're using an outdated methodology and an outdated law to allow individuals to either rightfully, legally express their concern for the misuse of their content, or like abuse it in the case of like the Firewatch guy, where he's like, he's not going after everybody who streamed Firewatch, he's just going after PewDiePie. There are, and we don't even have time to talk about it on this podcast, but it is an epidemic on YouTube of people doing false DMCA claims so that they can monetize other people's content.
We've had it on the Zero Strategy channel. I posted a video on our group channel that got claimed, and I was like, fuck this, and I went and looked into it, and the company that claimed it was just a bullshit company that just claims random videos. So I, instead of countering it, because obviously then you have to potentially go to court, I was like, I'm not dealing with that. I just deleted the video, reposted it, and they didn't claim it again. Because it was manually claimed by some arseholes. It's crazy.
I had a video that was claimed on YouTube that I posted a while ago. It was a video that used a song. The song was actually approved for use, and I was allowed to use it. And what ended up happening was the company that allowed use of the song, Icon 8, as long as I provided accreditation in the video and in the title description, which I did, I could use the song under this Creative Commons copyright law that they had for that track. The problem is that the artist who sold their work to Icon 8 also sold their work to someone else as a record, like they sold it to like another international record exchange. That record exchange hit me with a copyright claim to monetize my YouTube video because the song appeared twice, because the artist sold it twice to two different people. So on one hand, I'm following the law and I'm citing the attribution clause via Icons 8 so that I can use it in my video. And then I'm getting hit by a completely different entity because the artist, the band, sold the track to someone else. So now two people have rights to the track, but one of them decided that they would DMCA me.
That's what I was gonna say. You still have to kind of be careful, even because I've seen examples of that before, where artists are like, "Yeah, go ahead, use my stuff. I go ahead, that's fine," and they don't realize that they don't own all of their shit anymore. Because they sell. That happens a lot. Either the record companies and stuff, they own it or whatever, people and stuff like that. So like, you can't just go off of someone saying, yeah, use my stuff, unless it's like, specific, like Harris Heller's, like obviously that was like specifically made for people to stream and stuff like that.
Like if Humps released a record and then he said that, hey, you can use my stuff, he could mean it with every fiber of his being and be totally fine with you using it in your YouTube videos, your live streams, etc. But if his back catalog is then bought up by someone else, well, now they can hit you with
that's another thing. They can not only hit you, that can happen like years later. Like you can have your videos up on YouTube, whatever, from like 2 years ago, and that artist could have sold their shit to somebody else, and then, oh hey, look, this, boom, all your videos claimed.
Dude, there was a creator recently who covers anime videos. He had 150 videos claimed by an animation studio because they featured clips of like One Piece or some anime.
Toei.
Yeah, possibly, right? But this guy was doing fair use, transformative content where he was reviewing and really talking in depth. It's a whole big thing, and he got 150 videos claimed. The one thing I will say is quite good now. YouTube recently has added this feature where it will check your videos against their automated system before you publish them. So like in that situation where it's a song, you can see before you post it if it's going to be claimed, and you can go back and take it out and re-upload or whatever.
And just to put another fly in the ointment, people can also, even though the automated screen can happen beforehand, doesn't mean a claim can't happen after the video has already been published.
That's what I was
In
gonna
my
say.
case, it happened 4 months after the video was already up.
My Bob Ross video got claimed several weeks after it had been posted. It was up for ages. I say Bob Ross, it featured a little bit of Bob Ross. And the video was up and it was doing fine for weeks, and then all of a sudden blocked
Which
worldwide.
is bullshit. That was a public show. That was a free public television.
Blocked worldwide by the Bob Ross estate because my little YouTube channel was a threat.
And to pull all of this back into perspective in terms of what has happened in the last 24 hours, in that anecdote where I watched someone with 2K viewers delete like at least 60 MasterChef videos and probably like 200 to 300 clips featuring MasterChef from their stream. And this is a person who does first-person shooters. They don't specialize in MasterChef or reviewing TV. This wasn't transformative content. That guy, had he been caught and not just burned all the evidence, he could have been hit with 60 plus claims. And that would have been the end of his channel. Because if you think about it, if all of those claims came through as an individual claim, we're well past the 3 strikes and you're out. His channel is gone. And so that's why he literally says at one point, he's like, hang on, chat, I have to stop doing what I'm doing right now because it's this or my job. Like I need to sort this out now, because if I don't, that's my job gone.
Yeah, because I was watching that and I was like, okay, good, he's got that right attitude. And then when you're like, no, probably should stop this and do it, he's like, no, fuck that. And I was like, okay, well, you were almost there.
Yeah,
you were almost there.
and those kinds of things have happened to people where they get hit with multiple strikes at once and didn't know. And that happened with, we've had this occur. This is maybe like I want to say 4th big wave of like purges that Twitch has had, where people are purging content. Most of them to date so far had been audio related. People, like, they see one big person go down because of music. Everyone goes back and deletes all their VODs and all their clips because they're afraid. Like, this is not new. I mean, like, since we've been doing this podcast, this is at least the 3rd big purge. We've had 2 big purges previously for music.
And I feel like we're the only ones who remember every time. Us three are the only ones that remember. Everyone else forgets that it happened.
Yeah.
It's maddening.
6 months from now, guaranteed 6 months from now, someone will be watching MasterChef again.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I stopped caring. I just, it's such a headache. Cause like, I was talking to my mom about this, and I was just like, it just drives me nuts. Like, whether this is a hobby or not, like, if this, especially the big people, that this is obviously your fucking business. Like, the fact that you would not know as much as you could about the different facets of what entails in content creation, specifically regarding DMCA, blows my fucking mind. It's like starting up a restaurant and being like, wait, I have to pay taxes? That's fucking stupid. Health codes, what are those? It's on that level of stupidity. It's ridiculous. And so, you know what? Yeah. I don't give a shit anymore. Let them all fucking burn. You know why? I don't even care. Clear the space. Less people watching them. Come over to Sir Hump's channel. We can hang out, because we'll be listening to some super not great DMC free music, baby.
There's I mean, the fucked up thing is that you'd think, at least when they start to see people get banned from DMCA, a career streamer, you would think, would go, I should maybe look into this DMCA thing, make sure it doesn't happen to me.
Oh, this is fucking stupid. I'm going to show them.
In my
MasterChef
defense,
it up, baby.
When I started streaming, I listened to Spotify. I was just listening to whatever the fuck. I had song requests. Yeah. I had fucking song requests in my stream. You could just request a song and it would play wherever you wanted. And I had no concept of DMCA being an issue. For anyone that doesn't know, it's maybe newer to the podcast or whatever. The reason my Twitter account has 2 Y's on the end is because the first one got destroyed by DMCA. My first Twitter account just got taken out one day, gone forever. That's why I had to make a new account with a secondary Y. That's the whole thing. And, you know, I didn't have any concept of DMCA. He has registered
6 more Twitch accounts, all with an extra Y at the end.
They'll never stop me. I'll just keep adding Y's. They'll never stop me. But, like, that moment when I was like, oh shit, that's my Twitter that I've had for years gone.
That was your wake up call.
And then I was like, I was trying to tell everybody, like, guys,
these
be
people
fucking
aren't
careful.
having it though.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we've had these conversations with friends of ours, other co-streamers, people that like are not part of the podcast, but people that we've known a long time. And we've had these conversations with folks, and then they're like, yeah. Some of these conversations we've had publicly with folks, and they've gone, yeah. No, totally, you're right. And then we go to their stream the fucking next week, and they're streaming, Bring Me the Horizon or some shit. And it's just like, are you kidding me? Like, you are going to jeopardize everything you're doing. Just to put in perspective how naive some folks are, the person I talked about yesterday who burned all the evidence in front of everyone, who totally would have gotten fucked, they tweeted Gordon Ramsay. And they said, hey, Gordon, any chance you can talk to Fox about not DMCAing our channels? We love you over here. Motherfucker, are you kidding me?
Yeah, like, it's so ridiculous.
It's like, hey, Fox,
yeah, you paid me to host a show, and people are hassling me about it. Yeah, like, it's to think that Gordon Ramsay would have that kind of control. To kind of... Sorry,
how tone deaf do you have to be that when Pokimane gets fucking banned, someone like Disguised Toast, again, millionaire streamer, says he writes free Pokimane in his following live stream, and then fucking streams anime on purpose that he knows is copywritten. Literally just they're literally daring people to fuck with them. But by proxy, just like Admiral Baru said earlier in the tweet that we mentioned, it is jeopardizing everyone else. It's like ego after ego, and they're not even thinking about other people. Mm-hmm. It's so fucking irritating.
To underline this and to wrap us up, and just to kind of be a stark reminder of how scary DMCA is, because as Grog mentioned, there's a lot of people that we know that are within our kind of circle of, streamers that still just listen to Spotify, do whatever they want, listen to music and just chill out, right? You can delete your VODs. Doesn't protect you all the way, it's... Even though Twitch has the bot that can potentially mute, it's not as advanced as some other ones, so it might miss things. You're at risk. You delete those VODs, you're protecting yourself a little bit, but you could still get claimed live, as has happened and will start happening more. The most important thing to remember is, as we said, 3 strikes and you're out. Now, that doesn't mean, I got a DMCA, now I'll stop listening to music. Because you're live for 8 fucking hours, 9 hours, 10 hours. If you get 3 DMCAs in one stream, I like to think about it like this, right? In the UK, if you've got a tire that's not got enough tread depth on it, if it's like worn, you can get 3 points on your license. If you get 9 points on your license, you can't drive anymore. If all 4 of your tires are fucked, you could be pulled over and instantly banned from driving, just like that, because all your tires are done. It's not like, I've got 3 points now, I should now probably get new tires. It's the same thing. You could get multiple DMCAs. Guess what? That's what fucking happened to my Twitter. I got about 30, possibly more, DMCAs all at once for separate tweets.
And he made it. One of them was like, you did an iCarly meme.
That
right?
was the only one that claimed. It was because I posted the meme several times. So it was the same audio, the same clip, but because I posted it every time I went live, I got hit with 30 fucking separate DMCAs. And of course, Twitter looks at it and goes, well, this guy just doesn't know when to quit. He just keeps getting DMCA'd. Get him off of our platform, because he obviously doesn't understand. He's been warned. Yeah, to be clear, it was because it was Condie, and it was like a little montage of funny clips, but it was Condie with the iCarly music. Technically transformative.
Oh, no, we get it. We get
it. Okay, well, I think it was good, right? And basically, yeah, because I posted that when I went live.
That is a good example, though.
That's a great example.
I think it's a great example because you got hit not because you used their footage, not because you showed elements of the show. You used the soundtrack, the background theme, the theme song to a soundtrack for a show, over top of a montage of videos that were yours, that you edited together into a new piece, and you got DMCA'd, and it cost you your account.
Yeah, that's gone. That's why it's Condie Fly.
For a meme.
That's why my Twitter has an extra Y, because my old one, and people still tag the old Twitter sometimes. That's so upsetting. I got DMs on Discord for people being like, yo, why'd you block me on Twitter, man? And I'm like, no, my account got banned. I didn't block you. But yeah, to kind of wrap that up, I will be watching iCarly season 1, 2, 3 on stream, as Vul said. Yeah, that's definitely happening. We should wrap up. DMCA, it's a fucking nightmare, but all we can do is beg you to just be smart about it, be safe, because
hopefully this is the last DMCA topic of 2022 for us here on the podcast.
It's January, Grog. Are you insane? Well, we have an emote. We have a DMCA emote for a reason.
I know that we got sidetracked here again, but I felt like we had to talk about it today because, I mean, the last
because everyone's
48
forgotten
hours
about it again. because apparently just having music in the background of my stream got a ton of people so scared that they delete all their VODs. And then, I mean, we talked about it last time, and I think we even said in a few months, everyone will forget and everyone will start listening to music again. I didn't think people would be watching fucking movies on their stream.
Oh, they took that shit to the next level, son.
We talked about TV, though. We had talked about that on the podcast and said people are watching TV shows on their stream. It's gonna happen. We've said it. It's fucking find the tape. It's in the archives.
And emotes.
We said it.
Emotes will get hit. Alerts will get hit. Because if the movie and the TV industry really want to screw you, how many people have clips from TV shows as their follow alerts or sub alerts or whatever, right? Ha ha ha! What's that, Princess Bride? You made one of the classic blunders. Every time I raid you, Humps, you're going to get DMCA'd. And guess what? One DMCA, you're off the Zero Strategy podcast. That's the deal.
Oh, shit. I don't want to change
Not
it.
including my Twitter DMCA.
In all reality, like an audio clip from like Ghostbusters or Princess Bride or whatever probably won't be because the algorithms aren't looking for that kind of thing for the audio. But here's the thing that often will. That we had a Senpai Saturn, someone who we used to frequent more, you know, like we used to chat with more, and I don't know where she's been, but she had a song that was was it from, I can't remember, but it was basically when she got a dono, it was like 40 seconds of a song, and it was a notable song. And like that shit, like when she had a stream where she got like tons of subs back to back to back, the song just kept playing. Guess what's happening? Every time that song appears, it's showing up in your VOD. Like like
I delete my VODs. Twitch mutes them. I use the super sweet OBS setting that doesn't save it to my VODs. Live takedowns will be next this year. They happen right now, and it's gonna just go up and up and up and up. So play your music. I want you to guys look. Don't listen to us. I want every single one of you. Hear me now. I want every single one of you. I want you to just play all the music you want to. I want you to listen to the best Papa Roach songs you can listen to. I want you to listen to all,
you can find
all the Nirvanas. I want you to listen to everything you possibly can. Watch MasterChef. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Watch Queer Eye. That's my new thing. I love the show, so that's why. Watch Queer Eye on stream. You know what I mean? Go ahead and do that. I want your channel gone, because when it's gone, I'll be here playing Destiny 2.
Grog, where can everyone find you on the internet, and what have you got coming up this week?
People can find me on the internet at twitch.tv/grogmode. I stream 4 to 5 days a week. Monday through Thursday is when you can usually find me there. Thursdays, I'm streaming Mothership with a cast of lovely players. It is a tabletop RPG set in space. It's a sci-fi horror setting. You can also find me on YouTube and Twitter at gamer_grog. What about you, Humps?
I'm Sir Humps. You can find me everywhere that I am. You can just type in the Sir Humps. If you want to see me specifically on Twitter, just add an underscore, you know, that's it. But I've been streaming. I've been fucking hitting it hard. I streamed every single day this week except for today. We hitting that Destiny 2, obviously, all the time.
Just release some pheromones in the air. He'll be there.
Oh, you know, we got the toes, we got the necks, you know what I mean? Just a couple things that get me going a little bit. But we'll be, I'll be back, be streaming Monday again, obviously. If you like Destiny, you should definitely go look at my stuff on YouTube and TikTok and stream.
Full disclosure, he does cheat while he streams, though.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's kind of cringe, honestly.
I called
Imagine.
out for being a cheater, so you know it is what it is. It created content, and I thanked the gentleman for
Show your task
providing
manager.
me
Show your task manager.
a view. I said thanks for the view, brother, and the content. Condie, what about you, man?
Yeah, you can find me everywhere. Condiefly, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, all that good stuff. Yeah, I don't know. We'll just be diving into more of the same this week. I am actually legitimately gonna do a little watch party thing. But there's an internet series that I absolutely love called Video Game High School. They actually use those things, Humps, actually, weirdly. But really funny internet series that I watched a long time ago and I really, really adore. And the creator and owner tweeted out last night saying, watch it on stream. And Jay Schlatt did a watch party and watched the whole thing.
Have you made sure that he still owns the rights to
it? Yes,
yeah.
I checked it all. It's a couple of guys that were in it that also produced it, directed it. They own the whole thing, so they were fine with it. So I've been looking for an excuse to rewatch it, and I feel like it might be quite nice at the end of a stream to just sit down for an hour each night, watch a few episodes, and eat my dinner and do that. So I'm actually really excited. I'm going to do that. If I get DMCA'd, I swear to God, I'm going to be so angry.
Oh my gosh. This podcast will be so much better without...
I don't expect that it'll happen. Also, I just want to say I'm so glad to be back on the podcast. I know it's been a few weeks.
Me too.
Can we be honest, if Condie dropped the podcast is dead.
Yeah, you
no, not at all. I'll give you the login.
It is.
No, it's dead.
Yeah, it's dead.
I don't like that. That's unacceptable to me.
Well, yeah, but you're podcast
effort.
daddy.
You're the peanut butter of our jelly sandwich.
Yeah, but someone else has to step in though.
No, sorry. No, it's your job.
All right, I quit.
Sorry.
It's like a suicide pact, but we all stayed alive at the end.
Yeah.
Fair enough. We'll be back next week. Most importantly, if you've enjoyed this podcast, if you found it beneficial, useful, I mean, sometimes we do just talk about drama and news and we just have a little goof, and sometimes we dive into actual helpful topics for streamers and creators. And you can find our whole backlog of episodes on our YouTube channel, which is Zero Strategy Podcast, and on our Spotify as well, where you can find all the old episodes if you want to just listen on the go or anything like that. If you happen to be checking this out on one of those platforms, we also do this live on Twitch on Sundays, twitch.tv Zero Strategy Podcasts. All the relevant links will be in the descriptions and all that stuff. If you are watching live, we're going to go along and raid somebody. Thank you very much for your time, and we will see you next week. Later, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.